again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of LC's Coach's Corner, Coach's Show, whatever you want to call it. I'm Brad Welburn here, back again with you, and as you can see here to my left, Coach Dunn is not here today. We are glad to be joined by offensive coordinator Ben McLaughlin and defensive coordinator Justin Charles, and we're going to kind of get into a little bit more detail maybe about each side of the ball because these guys are the ones that are sort of in charge of those aspects. Since we had a bye week, an off week last week, we talked about it with Coach Dunn, opportunity for you guys to really, what he said, scout each other. So offense scouted the defense, maybe looking for tendencies, same side of the deal for us defense against our offense. So I guess we'll start with, well, who wants to go first? No? Okay, well, we'll just figure it out. We'll start with Ben, since he's here to my left. What was the biggest thing that you guys worked on, I guess, for the scouting part of it? I know sure Coach Charles had some pretty good matchups with the offense that you guys have put together so far this year with Easton and all the guys. So what was the biggest thing you guys worked on as far as scouting the defense and helping them out?
Yeah, I mean, we really tried to focus this week. When we got the self-scout, everybody has tendencies, and so many times that you get used to doing what you do, you don't even realize some of the tendencies that you do. So having a fresh set of eyes look at it really helps us out. So when I got the report back, we focused on our 3 practices this last week of basically everything we did wanted to be tendency breakers. So whatever tendencies that Coach Charles told us that from what he saw that we had, this week we worked plays specifically to break those tendencies. It wasn't necessarily working game plan for this upcoming week. It was working how can we break those tendencies, get those plays in with some of those formations that we don't normally do. And so that was our big focus this week was tendency breakers, and I thought we got some good work in. And now obviously this next week we'll be putting in game plan for Howard Payne.
Right, Coach Charles, same sort of question for you. What was your biggest talking points going into practices last week? Like we said, you got some pretty good matchups that you can really test your guys, but also try to figure out where you need to work on for the upcoming conference schedule.
Oh, the first thing I'd tell you right now is when we matched up our offense and scouted those guys, we really saw that we have a very scary offense, personnel-wise, and a lot of things that we do with the scheme and the way our offense line plays. And so we definitely looked at that first, and I think our offense is doing a great job in keeping us off the field and moving the ball well at certain times in the game and situational type things. But what we decided to do on defense this past week was very similar to what Coach McLaughlin just said. We focused on our weak points, and coaches, the offensive staff did a great job as far as telling us, hey, look, this is what you guys are doing. May want to work on this and things like that. And it was a great opportunity for our kids to see that as well, because now they say they got to see it from a coach's point of view. And we did bring a lot of those notes to the defensive guys, and that was the biggest thing. Our kids were able to see where we were a little bit weak or stronger points and things like that. So it was definitely a great breakdown for us.
One of the things that Coach Dunn has mentioned in several interviews with me or with any other media about how you guys have had like a blue-collar workman type mentality even from the off season, and certainly he's mentioned that when he's talking about your defense, and I think we're really seeing that certainly in the past 2 games with all the turnovers. 2 games in a row with a pick 6. It's just you guys have seemed to put in a lot of work, and I know you got to be super excited about what you've seen on the field. Yeah,
we're very excited with what we're seeing on the field. Our guys come out every day to practice, and they come out and they accomplish the task at hand. Every day we have a certain word, whether it's focusing on pursuit or communication or what we call takeaways, not turnovers. We focus on those little things day by day, and they come out with a blue-collar mentality, attitude, and what we call functional intelligence. They come out and they're able to move and pursue the goals that we're going after. Those takeaways that they're getting, it's not things that, we feel that we're not lucky. They come out there and we work those things week by week, whether it's day to day or, week to week. And those guys come out and they just accomplishing the goal. It's a mindset that we have of wanting to win and wanting to get the ball back for our offense, because we love to watch our offense.
Right.
We don't want to play against them.
I don't think anybody does, really. So, Ben, for you, just I guess maybe first on a personal level, I know you've talked about it several times since it was announced that you'll be coming back as the offensive coordinator, still with all the passing records that you're hoping Easton has a run at a lot of them. But what is it meant for you to come back here and then to get off to this good start, averaging the team 52 points over the first 3 games. I mean, I don't think you could have asked for better.
Well, it's the first and foremost. It's absolutely nothing that I'm bringing to the table. It's this is the offense that people are accustomed to Louisiana College having, with the athletes and throwing the ball around and moving the ball and scoring points and whatnot. And so, last year was just one of those kind of deals where we had some key guys get injured and had some young guys that hadn't had experience yet, had to step up. And so, when you have that happen, it's an issue. And so now we're fortunate to have those guys that were injured that came back. Plus, you had those guys that got that experience, are now experienced players that are, some of them are starting and some of them are backups that do a great job of when we ask them. And so, like anything else, it's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And so, fortunate for us, we've got those guys back that are making plays. But it's special coming back here coming back home and be able to be on this side of it. And so it's great working with Coach Dunn and with Coach Charles and the rest of the staff and being here. It's definitely a special deal, but it's Coach Dunn's offense, and we got the players back, and so it's able to go like we're accustomed to it going.
Right. Final question before we kind of get into the preview for Howard Payne this week. I want each of you to kind of tell me, based on what you've seen thus far in the season, the biggest things that you're most pleased with your side of the ball, for you being offense and obviously for JC's for defense. So just through the first 3 games, the one thing, 2 things maybe that you're most excited or pleased with from the first 3 games. Go ahead, Ben.
For us, we've really, after that first game, we were in position. Turnovers kind of, obviously hurt us. We're making plays. We're making big plays, which obviously is a positive. We're making big plays, and if you can make big plays, you can be in any game against anybody at any time. So, but I felt like, especially going in the second half of the Texas College game, we've been putting emphasis on, eliminating turnovers, and other than 1 or 2 mistakes when our 2s went in at the end of the game the other night. We did that, and so if we can keep that going, keep making big plays and eliminating turnovers, we're going to help our defense out and put us in good position to be successful.
Yep. JC?
I think for us, just a progression week by week. After last year, being maligned a little bit throughout the season, I think this past 3 games we just gotten better and progressively and getting better at the little things and just working on that. And then the biggest statistical thing that we look at is missed tackles, and this year we have eliminated a lot of missed tackles from last year. But that, again, that's an attribute to our players, because they come out every day and we work on tackling every single day in practice, and they take pride in their tackling right now. And so I think that's the 2 biggest things, is progression throughout the season, and then missed tackles, we eliminated a lot of those.
All right, cool deal. All right, well, let's get into talking about this week's game. I know we're all excited to have football back here in Pineville on Saturday. You guys taking on Howard Payne, coming in 0-3 on the season, are the Yellow Jackets. And so obviously a game that you guys want to redeem from last year. I believe it was a 2-point loss there at their place. So first of all, I guess, what can you tell us about Howard Payne so far, what they have on the table?
Well, defensively, it's going to be a unique challenge for us. It's the first team that we're going to play. I know I'm not trying to get too into the details, but they run an odd front, which is a different front that is not what our defense runs, and it's not what any of the first 3 teams we play run. So it's the first time that we're going to see a defense, and but 3 or 4 other teams that we play run it. So it's going to be a good introduction, because especially ETBU is probably the best at it that we see coming up. So it's going to be good work for them, but they run an odd front, and they do a really good job of mixing up their coverages. They run a multiple coverages. That's the first team that's going to do that really to us as well. So our quarterback's going to, and our tackles are going to have to be very aware with the different things that they do. So, they try to play, they do what they do. They're very consistent, but they will change a few things up. And so our guys just have to be aware, recognizing what they're in each different formation and each different play. So, but they're talented. They got a couple guys that like to blitz off the edge that we got to pick up on the back end. They try not to give up the big play. They play over the top. So make the offense really work the ball and try not to give up that big play that we're trying to get. So we're going to be successful if we can recognize the defense that they're in and able to adapt to it.
Right. JC, I was looking at some of the stats for Howard Payne, and from what I've gathered, their quarterback is kind of their center guy. He's obviously the quarterback going to throw the ball, but he can also get out of the pocket and kind of make some plays with his feet. I think he's their leading rusher as well. So what kind of challenges does that face? I mean, I know Texas College, similar type of thing, but what challenges does he propose to y'all?
He proposes a really good challenge for us. He's, Kaysen, he's a great young man. I know their head coach very well, Coach Sims, and he speaks very highly of the young man, and he's definitely a competitor, and it shows on film. And he actually played against us about 2 years ago when we were out here and made a few good plays from the running back spot, and also as the backup quarterback. But he's definitely a good competitor, great with his feet. Moves very well outside the pocket and inside the pocket. But he does pose some different threats to us. And they've got a few good receivers there as well, But what they like to do, what we haven't seen all year is they get into a couple of heavier sets this year, with two backs and a tight end, and we haven't seen that much this year. And so that poses a little bit threat for us, because they're going to try to big boy is what we call us, and or what we call it. And hopefully they're not able to do that, but they do a good job as far as doing what their coach should do and just staying on task and just getting better every snap. They really have this year.
So I assume a big emphasis kind of on the front four up there for not only with those heavy sets, but also containing him inside the pocket.
Yeah, we want to definitely contain him in the pocket.
Yeah.
If we can do that, we think our game plan will stay intact. But once he leaves that pocket, he likes to keep his eyes downfield, and he will release the ball. So, but again, he's a great competitor, and if we can just get a couple hits on him and maybe try to slow him down and keep him off the field, we think we can definitely get the ball in our offense's hands and give ourselves a chance.
48 points a game, right? That's what the goal is, isn't it?
Easy now.
Well, you got to set your goal somewhere, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, it certainly is going to be a fun game, fun atmosphere, as it always is at Wildcat Field. So I hope you guys are planning on coming on out. 1 o'clock Saturday right here at LC, and Wildcats taking on the Yellow Jackets. Howard Payne, first ASC conference game of the year. And as we wrap things up here, can you give us maybe a quick outlook on how things are shaping up? I mean, because we got some teams. I think we have 3 teams, 3-0 in the conference through their non-conference schedule, and now as we're really getting into the nitty-gritty, as they say, as conference play starts up. I mean, it's going to shape up to be a pretty good run between several teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a great year, for our conference. We've got 3 teams ranked in the top 20 right now, which says a lot for Division III. And, that's talking about ETBU, Howard Payne, Hardin Simmons, and University of Maryland Baylor. And they're all 3 great competitors, man, and they're going to do a great job, and we definitely, got our eyes set on all 3 of those teams. And, when the day comes, the ball will be dropped, and we'll play them, We're ready to go.
That's it. All right, well, again, thanks so much for watching. For Coach Ben McLaughlin and Coach Justin Charles, thanks so much for watching. Want to thank all of you guys with the Convergence Media folks for helping put this on. And be sure to check out lacollege.edu for the live stream of the football game. That link will also be on our athletic website, lcwildcats.net. So it's all over the place. We got internet stuff. It's doing it. We're doing it. But thanks for watching again. I'm Brad Welburn for Wildcats Media Sports. We'll see you next time.